Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. All right, y'all. Welcome to Sex Biz Saturdays. Usually I'm just saying S Biz Saturdays, but I'm just gonna see if the shadow band pops up. I just realized that I do not have any earrings on. Why do I always do this? I guess I'm just busy running around in the morning, but I forget that I need earrings to make my life complete, y'all. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Earrings are earrings are fun and amazing, and they make me feel good. So let me go ahead and get in my body. As yes, much better, right? Much better. Okay. All right, y'all. Welcome to Sex Biz Saturdays. I am Marla Renee Stewart here live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on the gram. So thank you all for joining me here today. Today, we are going to be briefly talking about knowing your competitors and why it's important, right? Like in this industry, we do a lot, right? We are, if we're running our businesses by ourselves, we are the marketing department, we are administrative, we are the face, we are the muse, we are everything, right, in our business. So it's super important that you know who your competitors are so that you can see what they're doing, right? And to also understand like, hey, so, we are everything. So knowing your competitors is important, but what's even more important is building rapport with your audience, and understand that is the ultimate power move, right? There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Right. And so in this industry, it's super, super important to collaborate with other people. Right. So turning your competitors into your collaborators really has an advantage for you. Right. So think about your competitors. Don't obsess over them. Right. You don't want to spiral into imposter syndrome or anything like that. But what you want to do is you want to research, right? You want to study the landscape. You want to strategize, and hopefully maybe even collaborate, because that is going to benefit everyone, right? It's going to expand your audience. It's going to help you tap into new things that may be helpful for you in your business. So when thinking about who your competitors are, first you need to think about who are they, right? If you don't know who they are, that means one of the things you need to know is like who's offering similar products or services, especially in your area. What are their price points? Who is their audience? How are they marketing themselves? Like, what are they doing? What are their strengths, weaknesses? Excuse me. Wow. Okay. Are they local or national or even international, right? Like, what is their presence? And so what you want to do is really start Googling keywords related to your business, right? You want to check the hashtags, right, on social media. You want to ask your audience, who else do you follow? Who else do you look up to? And understand, though, it's not shady, of course. It is strategic. You want to know, hey, who are you also looking to understand this concept of what it is that you're trying to understand, or maybe that's something that you're struggling with, right? And so then what you want to do is kind of do like a little mini SWOT analysis. So once you've kind of understood like all of those different questions, understand, hey, do a SWOT analysis on your own business, right? So what are the strengths of your business? Like, what do you rock at? What, is it customer service? Is it education? Is it your brand voice? Like, what is it? What are your weaknesses? Where could you, use some touching up, right? Think about maybe your back end systems are messy, or maybe you're not consistent on social media, right? And then also your opportunities, what are the trends? What's trending in your industry right now? Is there a product or audience, is there a product your audience keeps asking for, right? People kept asking me for the rose for the longest time. You have access to the rose. And I'm like, oh my God, you can get a discount here. Starship. But like what's trending, right? Right now, there's definitely a trend of people talking about dying for sex. That show, which really kind of helped, I think is helping a lot of people understand like they need to tap into their sexuality before, not later. Anyway, let's go back. A little distracted there. Threats, right? Is someone else, dominating your niche, right? Is there a new platform, shifting the algorithmic sands, right, beneath your feet? Like, what is really happening? Now, understand this is where you need to take advantage of, right? Opportunities aren't just about what you can do. They also can be really great invitations to collaborate. In addition, you also want to be able to give a SWOT analysis on your competition, right? So don't just analyze like your own business, but analyze the competition as well, right? So that means you are understanding like your own strengths, your competitors' strengths, right? What are they doing really well? Maybe their branding is really awesome. Maybe they're consistently giving out content. Maybe their audience is always like on point, right? Understand their own weaknesses. Like, what are their gaps? Maybe they're not as inclusive as you. Maybe their customer service has some red flags in it, Also opportunities, right? Is there something they aren't offering that maybe you can, right? Or maybe there's a market segment that they're missing out on, right? That could be an opportunity. And then the threats would could you both be affected by the same industry shifts or even new players that come into the game, right? So understanding your competition's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, these are all going to be important as you understand who your competition is, right? So if we're thinking about competitors, they're competitors, but right, they actually could be potential collaborators. And so you want to think about, hey, these are potential collaborators instead of competition, right? This could be, someone, a business flirtationship. If like a fellow buddy is or fellow colleague is something aligned with what you do, but you're not necessarily identical, there's a space, right, to host a joint workshop or panel, right? Create a crossover product or bundle. Like Luna and I are besties in this way of hey, we're going to host workshops together. We won an award for, our Racing Kink series because, we work together, right? We bring in our audiences together for that. And then also in addition, right, creating crossover product or bundles. I don't do, 420 stuff, right? I don't do cannabis stuff. I don't do anything along those lines, but she has a whole 420 guide, right? And so I'm sure some of my audience, loves 420 stuff. So I'm happy to be hey, here's a great 420 guide, for you if you're interested, right? This is something that you can take advantage of and then for me, I can get a little kickback, right, from Luna, because I'm selling, her product to my audience, right? So understand that there's crossover in that. And then you can refer clients to one another. I'm always referring clients to my colleagues, especially colleagues that I have collaborated with. So referring clients to one another, especially when your services don't match their needs. There was a client that was asking, how, he's a nude model, and he was like, how do I, get my, penis to stay, hard for longer over this period of time? And I was like, that is not a question for me. That is a great question for my, great friend and colleague, King Noir, who has to keep it up for, probably an extended amount of time. And that's not my industry. I just don't know how to do that under, the kind of audience circumstances. So, here's that person that can help you out on that. And then even, sharing space at a vendor event or conference, right? If you're coming to Sex Down South, know that you can share a space together, share a vendor table, especially if your products or your services align with one another. It would be great. Like for me, it's really advantageous because I'm a service and an educator, and I've collaborated with, Starship, who is a sex toy retailer, right? So I'm not selling sex toys, but when my audience is like, hey, I need a sex toy, or I'm like, ooh, there's a client that might need a sex toy, I'm like, hey, I have a partnership with Starship and I can get you a discount, for that. So understand that these people are not competition, but they are collaborators with you. And it's helpful to get with them. So good afternoon, Amari the Rebel. I like your earrings. Thank you so much, Etsy. You can get you a pair. But at the same time, you want to, be confident in your product. You want to be confident in your service. You want to be confident in what you're doing. So one of the things that you need to think about, like if you're feeling jealous, right? Because I know there are colleagues that have been like, oh, I'm feeling jealous, or I'm feeling petty, or I'm following someone and it's just making me feel some type of way, right? So, sit with that, breathe, right? Like, oh God, I'm feeling jealous of this person. Why am I feeling maybe envious? What is going on with me, right? Understand jealousy and envy, they're natural. You see someone who seems to be winning, right? And it kind of stirs something up in you. But don't let it steal your joy or send you in, the social media doom spiral, doom scroll. But instead kind of reflect, right? Are they triggering a dream you haven't acted on yet? Maybe there's something that like you wanted to do and they're like doing it, right? Maybe reframe, right? Use their success as proof it can be done. So like, oh, hey, they're doing this thing. I can also probably do that thing. And then of course, release it, right? If it's still messing with your mental health, unfollow, block them, mute them, protect your peace. So you can focus on your mission, your business, right? You are not being petty. You're being powerful and ensuring that you are taking care of yourself, because guess what? No one else is going to take care of you besides you. So, like I said, there's been quite a few times that I've had colleagues, feel some type of way, and it can really be deteriorating on their mental health, how they show up for work. And so I really want you to learn from this lesson, sort of embrace your next steps according to your own self-awareness. Okay. In addition, show up, right? Show up and shine. Y'all are here viewing on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. So you got to show up and shine. You got to show up to your audience, right? You have to, hey, what is the best offer that I can give you? Hey, I can give you some really great advice. If you come into my program, guess what? Your advice is going to be even more amazing, right? So consistency, you got to keep your message aligned. What are you talking to your audience about? If you're talking about empowerment, education around whatever the particular niche you have, every post, every product, every email should be reflecting on that. And then, of course, you got to show up regularly. People need to see you enough times to remember your name, feel connected to you as if they know you, and of course, eventually click that buy button so they understand, hey, this is what I wanted. This is what I actually want to do. They're showing up for me. And I think I have the confidence to understand, like, I know I'd want to go with them. And then, of course, your authenticity. Don't try to be your competition. I have had colleagues who almost like, not identities being stolen per se, but like someone who did the same hairdo and like used the same branding strategy and the same things and taking the content from one of my colleagues to try to, build their own brand. That is a no-go. Please do not do that. Okay. Be you. That is what sets you apart. Don't be anyone else. And if you're having trouble understanding who you are, what your own authenticity is, then that means you need to take a step back and really kind of sit with that and see, what do you like? What is your style? What is your thing? You know what I mean? But again, every post you do, every email, every interaction that you have with your audience is just a brick in that house of trust that you're building with the people, with your audience, okay? Just one by one. Yes, Green Socks, be yourself in every environment. Super, super important to be yourself in every environment that you are, being genuine and really, because if you love what you do, you're going to be yourself, right? All the time. So it should be, relatively easy for you. In addition, there is also, the final thoughts here is just kind of, your competitors can be mirrors, right? They can be mentors for you, or even mates, right? Colleagues. Your audience can become your biggest fans and fiercest advocates. I really love when people are like, oh my God, Marla, I love your sex conference. I want to promote it for you. Absolutely. And you know what? You can even get a kickback. You know what I mean? Like, if you are going to help promote me, I want to help you the way that I can help you. Like, let's collaborate on this joint because we know we can bring in something together that the people would enjoy. I Got You Pegged says, people keep mistaking me for Hev. But we have similar style. It is what it is. Hey, people have mistaken me for Amina, for Goddess Amina. You know what I mean? They're like, bald head black girl must be Amina. Like, no, I'm not Goddess Amina. I am Marla. So I think it's fascinating, and, there's a lot of people that are, we have maybe similar, me and Amina, I mean, we're very different. I mean, we don't have similar style. I think we have like one piercing that might be the same, I think. And that's about it. We're like different skin shades. I'm bald pretty much the whole entire time. And she goes through like lots of different kinds of hairstyles. So, it is what it is. Sometimes we get mistaken for other people all the time. So I totally understand. And sometimes that's best for collaboration because then people can be like, oh, that's Amina and that's Marla, rather than like, oh, it's kind of blurry. It looks like the same person. So yeah, that's pretty funny. But I understand, remember, you got to stay informed. You got to stay consistent. You got to stay true to yourself. And just really, make sure when you do this research that you're doing it with intention, that when you're collaborating with your heart, right? You show up on purpose, in your purpose, okay? And if something or even someone is kind of trying to threaten your peace, block, mute, whatever, feel free to hit that block button with confidence and show yourself. You know what I mean? You've got work to do. And trust me, the right people are watching when you have the work to do. So cheers, y'all, to your professional success. Please, if you haven't already, please, I forgot to put my little banner up here. Please make sure you check out my program. If you haven't applied for my program, please make sure you do that. Go to successful.biz. That's SEXCESSFUL.biz. If you haven't picked up your free shadow band survival guide, please make sure you pick that up. All you got to do is hit, you can just go to velvetlips.kit.com/shadowband guide. And of course, I'm coming out with a bookkeeping system. Oh, my gosh, y'all, I'm coming out with so much. I have so many dreams and goals and aspirations. I'm doing it. And y'all got to keep me accountable. Okay. All right, y'all. If you have questions, again, make sure you drop them in the chat. I will answer them next time. Thank you all for joining me here, talking about competition and rapport. And of course, next week, we are going to be talking about, hey, what's your lead magnet? What's your free thing that you're giving out? So creating your free thing, why it matters. And then we will talk about funneling your clients. So will I see you next Saturday? I may see you no, I'm not going to see you next Saturday because I will be in Portland at KingFest. So, so if you are in Portland and you want to come say hi, please make sure you check me out. I'll be at the Healing Space, or I will be doing a fundraiser, the Cheeks for Change fundraiser in Portland at KingFest. So to help with scholarship funds, y'all, to get some hotel rooms and, things for folks. So Thank you all so much for joining me here today. And I hope you have an amazing Saturday, an amazing week ahead. And I will catch up with you at another time. All right. Bye, y'all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you on the flip side.